To this day.
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 What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt Bivol with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dmitry Bivol. Dmitry Bivol reveals how he will beat Canelo Alvarez on May 7th. Dmitry Bivol says that he already knows how to defeat Canelo Alvarez ahead of their May 7th fight at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Bivol believes he will win as long as he follows his game plan and doesn't deviate from it. The unbeaten WBA lightweight champion, which is 19-0 and 11 KOs, has watched the face of boxing Canelo's past fights. He's come up with the game plan to mix jabbing, pressuring, and backing away to keep him from having a stationary target to load up his shots. If you look at Canelo's recent opponents, they all fell apart after they stood in front of him, making it easy to hit them with his immense power shots. Bivol 31 isn't going to make it easy for Canelo by standing in one place, letting him walk up and tee off with his best punches. Canelo's last opponent, Caleb Plant, performed well with the game plan that his team had for him last November. Which prevented Plant from winning the fight was his stamina giving out on him in the championship rounds. Plant, now 21-1-12, would have likely won a unanimous decision if he fought had been an 8-rounder, but unfortunately his stamina gave out on him. Canelo took advantage of Plant once he faded, which is what he did to Billy Joe Saunders, Callum Smith, Sergey Kovalev, and Danny Jacobs. Kovalev gives Bivol advice. He said, "He told me not to overtrain, not to spend so much time in the gym," said Bivol. On what Kovalev told him about how to beat Alvarez, "He's just a man, a boxer. He's nothing more. He told me to think of him as just another opponent. Nothing more," Bivol said during the broadcast. "I just have to do my job, do what I do best," said Bivol on what he needs to do for him to defeat Canelo on May 7th. A good jab, good movement, and sometimes more pressure, sometimes back off. Everything I know how to do. If I do it well, I will win. I think so," said Bivol. Let me stop there. Jabbing, pressuring at times, and movement. Yeah, that seems like a great game plan for Canelo because Canelo, he is a guy that he suffers from pure boxers. Pure boxers will give him problems because they're not just going to sit there and allow him to set traps or to create holes, okay, and counterpunching abilities and opportunities for himself. See, counterpunchers wait for you to overcommit. Then they have a series of punches for you. Okay, either it's one or it's two or three. Okay, but a lot of times for a counterpuncher, it only takes one. Because if you notice anything about Eddie Reynoso and Canelo Alvarez, they work on counterpunches all day long. Okay, and of course, when I think of Canelo, I can't help but to think of Mike Tyson, a young Mike Tyson, where he was always ready to counter and his muscle memory was always due to him countering from a movement, okay? So he was already prepared to counter off or attack off a counter, okay? He was always prepared for that. And I think Canelo Alvarez, that's what makes him so successful. He's always ready to counter. When someone makes a miss, he makes them pay. Okay, that's an old school saying in boxing that a lot of people, if they just follow, like Canelo Alvarez, like Mike Tyson, like James Toney, those type of punchers, counter punchers, are very dangerous. And Bivol knows that. So at least he's done his homework on these fighters that fought him before. However, I wouldn't really deal with what Sergey Kovalev had to say because Sergey didn't train enough. I don't think Sergey was ready. Sergey did that for the money because he knew his ass was getting sued for something that he got into, right? So I feel that at the end of the day, Bivol can create a formula for beating Canelo Alvarez. Overtraining is not good, okay, because you can overtrain. But for Bivol, I think he needs to be prepared for a 12 rounder, especially with someone that is also applying the pressure. See, Canelo will also apply the pressure because he knows once he starts getting jabbed and the formula for Bivol starts working early, that's when Canelo Alvarez is going to switch up. He's going to switch up by default because he knows, like in the Enes Landilada, he has to do something, okay, that can change the attack of the attacker. Okay, he has to stop and nullify that jab. And then how he does that, Canelo's going to creep up under and keep looping and keep dipping and keep dipping. And if he gets anywhere near Canelo's going to crash and work that body. Okay, he's going to try to shatter that body, shatter that liver area. Okay, that's Canelo. And when you get hit with a punch like that, it stops you from moving as much. So, but Bivol is saying, hey, I need to create this formula between jabbing, pressuring, and moving. Well, you have to know when to do that. That takes experience. Knowing when to do certain things at certain times. Okay, that reflects the whole story of the fight on what you're going to do and how it looks. Okay, I think he has to frustrate Canelo, kind of like Lara did, but just more pressure constantly, right? But yeah, I think he could do it with the size and speed, but he has to do something to make Canelo respect him. If he does not, Canelo's going to walk him down and break him down like every other opponent that he's getting in the ring with, especially taller than him. Because he knows, like, look, this guy ain't hitting me hard enough. Like Caleb Plant. If Caleb Plant had a harder punch and something to catch Canelo with, better timing, but just a harder snapping shot that could stop Canelo in his tracks, not necessarily hurt him, but stun him enough to make him think and make him respect what's coming at him. If he had that, that's a totally different story. But unfortunately, he didn't. Hopefully, Bivol does. So we'll see what Bivol does in the upcoming months, and we'll see if he can put his formula together. You guys tell me what you think about Bivol saying that he has the game plan and knows how to beat Canelo Alvarez May 7th. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.